All right, so you've had time, I'm knowing, to write down your question. Yes? Yes. So fold it up right now and send it to the middle, if you would. Fold it up and send it to the middle person or whoever is at the center of the aisle. And then our ushers are going to come forward. And as that is happening, I'm going to invite our panel to introduce themselves. We are very blessed this morning to have some amazing people sitting up here behind me. And they have said yes to this high and holy work this morning to offer whatever we can to support and love you and help clarify things in whatever it is that you want to talk about. So if I'm just going to pass this microphone, which is all turned on and ready to go, if you would just give us like in 15 seconds, okay? You've got 30. You have 30 seconds to just give us your name, your role. I told you guys what to share, so there you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sandra Hopper, and I'm an ordained Unity minister. I'm a member here and very glad to be a member of CLF. I support you in being the best and the highest that you can be, as well as doing that for myself. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm John Halliburton, and I am a graduate of CLF's own ministerial school.
But you're also, what else here, John?
What else am I?
Well, I think you serve as a spiritual life coach. Is that correct?
I am a spiritual life coach.
Thank you.
And I am an assistant in various classes.
Thank you. Perfect.
Hello, and I'm Pete Waring, and I'm a spiritual life coach. In a few more months, it'll be 10 years at Creative Living Fellowship.
Whoa.
Yeah, 2008. And I'm also on the Board of Regents, and I'm on the faculty of the Creative Living University.
Nice, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Sherman, and I'm a spiritual life coach here at CLF. I have also served on the Board of Trustees, and I'm currently serving on the Board of Ecclesiastics. And I was one of the first practitioner class that graduate in 2001. So I've been here in this community a long time and here to assist and support you.
Thank you.
I'm Reverend Mary Jane Hyde. I am serving as a spiritual life coach here. I was in Carrie's class, and I'm also a graduate of CLF's School of Ministry. I think that's it.
I'm Tara Brown. I'm a spiritual life coach. I am also the director of the Spiritual Life Coaches, and I have been with CLF since 2009.
I'm Karen Nestor, and I'm a spiritual life coach and also a certified coach. And I've been serving here at CLF for 14 years as a spiritual life coach, and I'm also on the board of SLCs.
Thank you. So let's just give this amazing group of people a hand. So did we collect? Yes, we did, Diana. You're good. Thank you so much. What's that? You're good. All right. So the plan is that we will get through as many of these as we can. And I'll just go and also those that we don't answer, I will read all of them, and we still have a couple of weeks for this month, and so we can get to these even if we don't get to them today. All right. So whoever feels called to answer the question, if you would just raise your hand, and that way we don't have people talking on top of each other, and whoever hand I see first, I'll say go, and then you'll get the microphone. Or you just tug on me. That works too. All right. What is making people so angry and so devoid of coping and communication skills that they have to express themselves with lethal violence, such as mass shootings of innocent people? So again, okay, Reverend Sandra, let's pass that microphone down to her.
Their belief is in separation. They feel unloved. They feel like the only way that they can express themselves, this is my belief system, is through getting people's attention through violence. And, all of us are loved. We're all one. And people who act in violence or act out of hatred don't know that. They don't know they're loved. They don't know that they're wonderful creations of God. So my heart goes out to them.
Thank you. Anyone else want to field that? Okay, Pete, and then Mary Jane.
And second to what Reverend Sandy said is I also think that it's about consciousness. We're so bombarded with violence as a solution to the problems we have, whether it's on TV, the movies. It's always about violence. It seems to be the way that we're taught that how we solve our problems and get attention. So for me, I try to ensure that I don't watch those kinds of things, to keep my consciousness around love and compassion rather than around fear and anger.
Thank you. Mary Jane.
I believe Michelle said this last week, but there's so much divisive talk, there's so much divisive energy around it. I think the natural result is the violence that's happening with both the weather and with people.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Thank you so much for that question. So this isn't a question, it's a statement, but we'll see if you would like to comment on this statement. More peace, less war. I mean, I just think that's the answer right there. That's the answer. But yes, Tara.
So in Science of Mind, we talk about a process called chemicalization. Chemicalization is, say you come to a coach or you do a treatment for yourself, just like cleaning out a closet. You've got this closet's got some semblance of order, but it's not in great order. So you take everything out of the closet, you put it all around the room, and it looks like a disaster. But that's the process of that closet being cleaned up. So you go through and you sift through, and you see the items that no longer serve, and you pass them on, and you keep that which serves. And then you put what does serve back in the closet, and now you've got this beautifully ordered closet. So one way to look at our times is that the disorder is actually the shadow that was already there. It's coming to light for healing. You cannot heal what's hidden, but the light is always greater than the darkness. There is nothing in our teaching, there is no darkness, only the absence of light. You shine light anywhere where there's shadow, and you'll realize that darkness doesn't exist. So what if what's going on right now is simply the healing of the planet, and this is what it looks like, so that we can find those places where there's the injury and the hurt, and send love, and send resources, and send healing to what if this is actually the answer to our prayers?
Mm-hmm.
And that's another way to look at it.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I'm trying to read this, so hold on a minute. Why do some people here feel a person has to want prayers for them to pray for them? Oh, I think this is asking why do we need to get permission if we want. I think so. If you wrote this and I'm interpreting it incorrectly. Why do some people here feel a person has to want prayers for them to pray for them? Is that about asking for prayer for a third person, for not you, but for someone else, and we say that person has to want it? That's how I'm interpreting this. So if that is the correct interpretation, let's answer it that way. If that is not the correct interpretation, somebody throw something at me, and I'll try to think of a different way to look at it.
I know the highest and best is always occurring in everyone's experience. However, sometimes the person is not aware of what is going on in someone else's life. I do not know what's in your consciousness right now, although I kind of do because you're just a fabulous light. But if someone comes up to me and asks for prayer for their aunt, for health, and I ask, has your aunt agreed to me having pray for her? They go, well, no, but I know that's what she wants. I don't know that's what she wants. It sounds odd to say that somebody wouldn't want to be healthy, but everybody's going through their own experience at their own time with the tools and the resources, the knowledge, what's in their consciousness at the time. So I can generally, as I said in my first statement, know the highest and best is happening for that person, whatever they're going through. But unless I'm given specific permission to pray for a specific instance or circumstance, I just always pray for the highest to be shown to the person for the greatest good to happen in that person's life.
Nice. Thank you. Beautiful answer. All right. These are great questions. Thank you so much. Okay. I watch television approximately 2 hours per week, either the Hallmark Channel or professional cage fighting. All right. I love that. I see the news while on the treadmill each morning. I can't watch it. It makes me crippled in fear. Am I in some sort of denial as to what is going on? Gorgeous question. Thank you. Who would like to field that? Okay, Mary Jane, I want to make sure everyone has a chance. But yep, go ahead, Mary Jane. Got it.
Well, Headlines for Healing
Yes.
is something that we had on Friday night and plan to have the first Friday of every month. It's a small group, tends to discuss and talk about this very topic. We believe, Lonnie and I, and for this group, that headlines, what is in the headlines is a call for prayer. And that's how we see it, and that's what we do with it, is to turn it into a prayer. And that's really what it is. It's all healing, as everybody has said. I do believe that I'm going to say, I believe personally in being informed. It's important to me. But we're all in our own place with that. And we have to pray up before we probably can do that, at least for me. My experience is I have to be prayed up. I have to be in a good place and know that this is a call for prayer and it's not affecting me too deeply, in my consciousness.
Thank you. Beautiful. Karen.
Well, I am a divine being having a human experience, and I also tune into news shows, and I have had experiences of screaming at the television and experience myself more as a human than a divine being. And what I know as a spiritual life coach and someone that practices all the time is that it's important for me to know what tools I can use to bring myself back to center. I meditate every day. I pray every day. And it's up to me to hold the consciousness of oneness that I absolutely believe is the truth. And so as I experience those things that I see as duality, it's important that I take the steps and realize that I am connected to every single person in this world, and that I must step out of that duality into the oneness and experience the wholeness of who we are. That is my purpose.
Thank you. Let me just exclamation point on what Mary Jane said specifically, and Karen said maybe not these words, but please, please look at the news. Look at the headlines. And I'm not one to watch a lot of news. I don't watch a lot of it. But when I do, or when I hear something, or when I see something on the internet or in the newspaper, it is a call for prayer. So that's what I just want to remind you, that it is a call for prayer, and it is our job, not just their job. It is our job to stand in a knowing of oneness when you see something in the news and you'll know that it's a huge call for prayer, especially when it gets you, when it hits you, and you get upset or angry or sad or afraid or any of those emotions. Okay, feel those emotions. That's okay. Don't spiritually bypass them. Feel them, and then go into prayer for yourself first, of course, because that's where the change happens inside of us. And then move to prayer for globally, praying for the highest and best, the unfoldment of divine love in and through everything. All right. Yes, John.
I'm kind of reminded of a incident where a friend of mine and I walked into a Irish place and sat down to have a meal, and behold, they had cage fighting on the big screen right in front of us. And it kind of reminds me of deliberately ingesting poison or toxins. Why would you do this? That you're looking on the screen of people angry with each other and trying to do bodily harm to each other. There's enough of this in the world. We don't need to go out and dig it up.
All right. Could the state of division, angst, and hate be there as a means to rise together as a spiritual community in order to lead in a new way? Okay, yes. The answer to that is yes. Might our time be now? The answer to that is yes. Thank you. To demonstrate the healing power of love and the principle of unity. Yes. Yes and yes. Yes, thank you.
Last weekend, many of you met we were in the second service, so maybe many of you didn't, but my best friend was here from Florida. And Linda and I were having a conversation about this. What if this is, as in my past, I was a Baptist preacher's wife. What if this is the second coming? What if this is a awakening of our world to bring us to a higher level of consciousness? What if all that's going on is a wake-up call for us to be who we're supposed to be, to manifest the purpose that is ours in this world, to let our neighbors, our family members, ourselves know that there is more. The possibilities are unlimited in what our world could look like as we raise to a new consciousness.
Thank you. I want to give a quick example because we can think very globally, and get a little overwhelmed about how do I in my little world have a hand in bringing that major shift. But it's in the small, not so small, they're not so small, but the decisions that we make every day. Quick example, I was just at a conference, an amazing conference at Unity Village, which was incredible. Oh my gosh, an incredible place. And we took a collection 2 nights, and there was about $4,500 in that collection. And not to go into any big long story or details, but that collection got stolen out of the room of the woman who had it. Okay, so, oh my gosh, our money got stolen. Oh no. Okay, let's go into fear. Let's go into blame. Let's go into doubt. Let's go into upset. Let's go into anger, okay? 100 people at this conference, we didn't do that. And we know that the woman whose room it was, she's quite sure who did it, and knows from speaking to other staff members that this person who did it is in a difficult situation personally with some domestic violence and deep challenges. And what we did as a community, we gathered the morning after we learned this news, and we gathered and we prayed for her. And we said, it's just money. It is only money. Money can be replaced. We prayed that this event, which there may be legal consequences for her, and there is cause and effect, but that this is an event that catapults this young woman to a new way of being and a new place in consciousness. So we didn't react in anger and upset and let's go get her and, she did wrong. No, it was a total love for her and total, complete surrounded her in prayer. And I even suggested on my evaluation form, what can we do to help her? Physically in the human world, what can we do to help her? Can we give her money? Because she's going to have to give all that back, clearly. Can we help her? So we have day-to-day moments we get to make decisions that will change the consciousness. So I just wanted to share that with you. All right. We're going to have time to do one more question. Well, this kind of is what I just said. Love. Let's up the ante and get love to those most challenged. Well, and there it is. And there it is. Anyone want to comment on that? Good, Tara.
So what we know and what we teach is that there's one truth, there's one mind, there's only God. It's all one. It's peace, it's love, it's joy. So I'm going to invite you into something very personal, which is to scour your own mind for places where you're angry, where you desire vengeance or revenge, where there is an old standing hurt, where there's a person who cannot walk the street of your mind without being mugged. And shift that within you, because when you shift that within you, you just changed the one mind. And if you change that, everything changes. So that's the work that you can do at home, in private, and change the world.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to invite our panel to introduce themselves. And whoever has the microphone, there we go, Reverend Cindy, and we'll just take it on down the row.
I'm Reverend Cindy Fairmond.
And a little bit about yourself. Just
what do I do here?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I do lots of things
Yes.
here, but I serve as a congregant care minister of our congregation and also a class assistant at many CLU classes.
Thank you.
I'm Reverend Lonnie, and I've been a practitioner since 2001, and I've been a minister, I believe, to 2015, 14, 12.
Don't
11,
look at me. It's your
something like
schedule. I
that.
don't know.
A
Yes.
while,
I
a
think
little
2
while.
years. 2 years, I think.
I've
yes.
been a staff
yes.
minister
yes,
for
staff
2 years.
minister
I've
for 2
been
years.
a minister
yes.
for a little longer than that. And I serve many roles here, including the head of the prison ministry.
Yes, thank you.
I'm Reverend Sally Robbins. I have been a religious science minister since 1998. I'm an affiliate minister here at CLF and also very involved in the prison ministry with Reverend Lonnie.
I'm Claudia Hartman, and I am a newly minted spiritual life coach as of June, and currently serve as leader champion for our home group program and a very big advocate for community, creative community.
Thank you.
And I'm Reverend Dr. Bobby Crotty, and I serve here as the education minister and also as one of the directors for our Community First program.
Thank you.
And I'm Reverend Sherry McCreary. I'm a twice ordained interfaith minister and also a religious science minister. And for over 20 years now. And I have been here at CLU for almost 2 years, serving on the faculty. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give these gorgeous lights a hand. So have we collected our questions? This is how it's going to go. I'm just going to open, and everybody, there we go, collect them as she goes. I'm going to open a question and read it, and then whoever feels called to answer it, they will answer it. I'll throw in my 2 cents as well now and again, and we'll just go as far as we can. I want you to know if I do not get to a question that you asked today, I will take them all, and we have a couple more weeks left in this month, so we will still have a chance to look at them and address them woven into the rest of the month. So I'm going to just hand this to you, not that you have to start, but I'm just handing that to you. And if you guys would, please raise your hand, and that way so we don't have people talking on top of each other, I'm the official moderator. All right. So, and Sherry, I don't want to stand in front of you, so I'll hang out over here. What are some practices that can be implemented when experiencing a barrage of negative information? Thank you for that question. How powerful. What are some practices that can be implemented when experiencing a barrage of negative information? Who wants to take that one first? Lonnie. All right. Pass that microphone on down to Reverend Lonnie.
It's so easy to dismiss negative information by saying it's not good for me, and I am influenced by it. Well, we are certainly influenced by it and we are barraged by it, but it is not healthy for us to simply ignore it or dismiss it. What a practice that I do is, thank you for sharing, you are not part of my life. Now I am going on to something higher and better. So acknowledge what is going on. It is an opportunity for something to come up in prayer with you, just like the headlines for healing as we do the first Friday of the month now, examining the headlines as a call for prayer. So don't dismiss the negativity, understand it, make friends with it, and tell it that it is not part of your life anymore.
Thank you. Yeah, excellent. You can clap for that if you want. Yes, Reverend Sally.
I think the best advice that I can give myself, because we're always just teaching ourselves, right, is I found myself when the Las Vegas incident was happening that I started clenching up. And I just had to go, breathe. Just breathe. And this was my moment to really deepen my understanding of that I do trust that everything is indeed working for my highest good as well as the world's highest good. And so my mantra this week became, I trust that all is unfolding in divine, perfect order as I just breathed through it. That's my suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you. And I see Reverend Cindy.
And I would just invite everybody to take advantage of the spiritual life coaches and ministers that are here after service. So if you have something that weighs on your heart, some negativity that you're dealing with, please come and talk to us. It's our honor to pray with you.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ooh, juicy questions. Thank you. How can we, how can we be more alert to being active way showers? How can we be more alert to being active way showers? Bobby, Dr. Bobby would like to field that one, at least to begin with.
Well, here at CLF we have 7 practices. And you see the signs around the community here. Our meditation and our spiritual mind treatment are the first 2. Those are ways in which to be active. Become a peace. Peace begins within you. Love begins within you. It's who you are. It is your divine nature. And so bring that forth into everything that you do in your life. And that activity will extend out to others.
Thank you. Claudia.
So I really got this week how important it is to participate in your life, not to be on the field and not to be an observer. And so I looked deep within my own life. Who do I need to forgive? Who do I need to reach out to? Who do I need to tell them I love them? And I had a very powerful conversation yesterday with my sister, actually, because I came so present to the fact that life is fleeting and it can be taken away in a storm and in a random event. Don't leave things unfinished. And so it comes back to our inner hearts, our own practices, and becoming really authentic with where there are gaps or incompletions. So be consciously complete as best you can, and that brings light and love back into wholeness.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Reverend Lonnie. Lonnie, you know what? You already got to share, so we're going to send this down to Reverend Sherry, and you'll get a chance. You'll get a chance, I promise. All right.
I just wanted to add to what Claudia said. On the forgiveness front, self-forgiveness is so important, and it clears us up. It clears us out to create a space for us to become that way sure through the light that shines through us as we open up to forgiveness of ourselves and forgiveness of others. And so just don't forget yourself as you go through the process of moving through this time. Thank you.
Go ahead, Lonnie. If you have something different to say, which you do.
A little bit different.
I can feel it, so let's do it.
Not much, but in the first service, the panel was esteemed for who they are. Well, the only difference between us and you out there in the congregation is that we have focused a little bit more on that, and we've done a little bit more study. You are lights. You are beings that are divine here on earth, so don't think that there's really any separation between what we have to say and who you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think this question might be the same one that just got asked, but let me ask it and see if anyone has something. How do we stay focused on self and my expression of God as God in the world? I guess it's a little different. How to stay focused on self and my expression of God as God in the world? Reverend Sherry has her hand up.
We stay focused on self by being fully present in the moment, in each and every moment of each and every day. And when we are fully present and fully aware of who we are, whose we are, and always returning to center by breathing, that brings us back to ourselves. And as we come back to ourselves, we become more aware of everything that's going on around us. and focusing on being fully present in the moment. And that's because that's the only time we have is the now moment, this eternal moment of now. And so when we stay present to ourselves, we can stay in this moment, and then we move forward in each moment, which becomes this moment. And it keeps us aware of what we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're acting, and the oneness of all of that.
Thank you.
Well, as education minister, I would like to just add, to practice that, come and take a class. Come and work with a spiritual life coach. Come and join one of our CLF circles. All of those that help you stay focused on who you are.
Nice. Thank you. All right, Claudia.
It really comes down to living the practice. You know, we're given so many opportunities on a daily basis with what's going on in our lives collectively. Daily practice, even if it's 10 minutes. You know, sometimes we have this thought, I don't have time to meditate for an hour. Well, maybe you don't, but take 5 minutes, breathe, connect, come present to that higher power and connection. Because when we can do that, then we strengthen the collective field.
Thank you. Thank you. With everything going on in the world, how do I stay positive? So I'm just going to chime in now because I have my own microphone. and really just say ditto, ditto, ditto to everything that has already been said. How do I stay positive when I'm hit with news of Las Vegas or the devastation of a hurricane or something happens in my life? How do I stay positive? Well, the first thing that I would just like to say, in addition to ditto, ditto, is allow yourself a moment of not being positive. Give yourself a moment to feel what you feel. I don't ever want to suggest that we spiritually bypass something by immediately going to, it's all God, it's all good, it's all in divine right order, which is all true. It is all true. But if we're having emotion, human emotion, we need to feel those emotions. So first, allow yourself to be real and feel, but don't live there. Don't stop and build a condo there, right? We then move on, and then doing those things that have already been mentioned. Someone else wants to, yes, Reverend Sally?
I have been listening to a CD by Reverend Michael Beckwith. It's actually 10 years old, and I still listen to it. It's that good, because he talks about this very thing. It's like someone asked him that question about today's events, and this CD still answers it. And one of the things he says, just to piggyback on what Reverend Michelle said, is that be careful which window you are looking at your events of the world through, because many of us tend to only look through the victim window. And he said there's at least 4 other windows out there. One of that is the Job factor, is what he calls it, where in Job we read, after Job had all these calamities, the phrase is, that which I have feared has come upon me. And so looking through that window, where have I been fearing this? That second window he talks about is lessons. And he actually talks about, I was just reading yesterday an article from the New York Times that talked about post-traumatic growth, which is fantastic. Scientists have now pegged this. Instead of PTSD, this is PTG, post-traumatic growth. And how when we come through experiences, we actually have more confidence, more willingness, and availability to understand that anything that we go through is simply here for our good and to grow us. The third window he talked about was blessings. And he talked about how a woman had incarnated this time, and another friend of hers had also incarnated as her child who was born developmentally disabled. And the child was with her, taught her many lessons, and then 13 years old, he drowned. So he ended up, once their mission, their lessons were complete, he went back to that which he came from. And the lessons that she said that she would not have learned, the blessings that came from this, opened her heart in a way that may never have happened any other way. And the fourth window he talked about was race consciousness. And as long as there are at least a few of us who believe in mass shootings, who believe that violence is always going to be here, it will be manifest in our world. And so when you look at it, if we only take the victim window, when there's at least 4 other windows available to us, that's our job as spiritually mature individuals to say there's another way to look at this. That's how I stay positive.
Thank you. Thank you. Very powerful. Very powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, are you ready for a really juicy one? Here it comes. What of evil? I have seen it. What of evil? I have seen it. Reverend Sherry?
I think that Ernest Holmes says that there is no evil, there's a belief in evil that we have. I think that when we see what is termed evil, and we keep coming back to oneness, that there's only one life, there's only one power, there's only one presence, and that is God, and we keep coming back to there's only one, and beginning to look for and see that one in everything, everywhere, then the evil, or the appearance of evil, begins to dissipate, because even in the midst of it, we get to see God. And I am so reminded in this moment of a poem by Thich Nhat Hanh, Please Call Me By My True Names. And just a few lines of it, he says that the rhythm of my heart, the rhythm of the beat of my heart is the life and death of all that lives. I am the mayfly metamorphosing on the river, the surface of the river, and I am the bird that, when spring comes, flies in and eats the mayfly. I am the frog happily swimming on a clear water pond, and I am the grass snake that approaches silently and feeds on the frog. I am a 12-year-old girl, captive, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate whose heart has not yet opened and who is not capable of loving. Please call me by my true name so that I may wake up and my heart may open. My heart may open to compassion. And I think that keeps us in oneness. The poem is much longer than that, but those are the lines that come to me in this moment. To know that God is in everything, and no matter what we call it, the true name of it is God in the midst of it.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And that is the perfect movement to what I want us to do next. We did not get to all of your questions. Thank you for your powerful and beautiful answers. We will look them over and incorporate them in the next couple of weeks. But we want to call by its true name what happened in Las Vegas this week. Many of us have hearts hurting over the largest mass shooting in the U.S. that has ever occurred, with 59 people being killed, hundreds wounded and in the hospital. So we want to today call that by its true name, which is God, and have a moment to heal our hearts. So we are going to do that in a candle lighting vigil. You received a candle when you came in. If you did not, please raise your hand and our ushers will come to you and get a candle for you. Franny, I need one more, please. She's got it, yes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So light your candle, if you will. And we raise this candle in recognition of the souls that have transitioned into a new life experience, knowing that they knowing that they absolutely are a vehicle for transformation for all humanity, whether we're here or in the next plane, that they have given of themselves to support the evolution and expansion of humanity. And we stand in the knowing that and sending of our love and our light and our compassionate hearts to friends and family of all those impacted by this event, including the friends and family of Stephen Pollock, the individual who did the shooting. We send our love and our compassion and our hearts to them. We send love and compassion around this room to hearts that are hurting here this morning. We allow ourselves to have this human moment of sadness and grief, but we do not look through the window of sadness and grief for long, but instead look through that window that I will say is the window of oneness, the window of divine unfoldment, the window of God's perfection, the window of God. And that is what we do here this morning. And so one of the most powerful and beautiful spiritual practices we have here is spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. This is our go-to tool, and we are going to go to that tool right now. Our treatment and meditation class, which meets on Wednesday nights, on Wednesday night wrote a treatment for Las Vegas. And I'm going to invite members of that class to come forward right now. Come on forward. And they're going to offer us this prayer. And we're going to go immediately from this prayer into an exquisite song. And I invite you to keep your candle lit through the course of this song, through the course of the treatment and then the song. And then at some point in the song, when you feel like you are ready to turn this light off and let the light in your heart shine in you, through you, as you out into the world, this is what you're going to do. When you're ready to do that, you're going to raise your hand up and hold it there for a bit. You define how long that is. And then you will bring it back down and extinguish your candle. So that will be during this song. When you feel you are ready to extinguish this light, but know you've brought it in your heart and ready to shine that out, raise it up and then bring it to your heart and extinguish it. So a spiritual mind treatment from our treatment and meditation class, Spiritual Practices for Daily Living. Hold on one moment. Here you go, darling. There you go.
Those of us that are taking this class decided to take it because we understand that spiritual mind treatment and meditation, as was talked about and best summarized by Dr. Crotty, are the foundation stones on which we grow. And the best way for us to grow is by being able to use those practices. And so in our class this last Wednesday, we decided that we wanted to do a treatment because it was the right thing for us to do. So we're going to go through, each of us will talk about one of the 5 steps, and we'll identify that step as we provide the prayer. So the first step of the spiritual mind treatment is recognition. God is love. God is always present. God is perfect peace. God is all there is, all there was, and all that will be.
Unification. We are one with God. We are love and peace. The Las Vegas community is one with God. The Las Vegas community is love and peace, as are all the people everywhere throughout the world.
The third step is realization. We, the treatment and meditation class,
speak our word into the law for the Las Vegas community and the world for their highest and best. We declare that divine right action is taking place in all areas of their lives. We declare peace for all involved. All fear and anxiety is released. Only love exists.
Step 4, Thanksgiving. We are grateful and thankful for the immediate manifestation of this prayer.
Step 5, release. We joyfully and wholeheartedly release this treatment into the law, knowing it is already done. And so it is.
And so it is.